Welcome back to the Cruise Dynasty podcast. Breaking it down for y'all. Getting this rookie content in for y'all. We're going to break down a few more quarterbacks. Last episode, Bryce Young, Anthony Richardson, Hendon Hooker. Check out our last episode on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, anywhere you can get podcasts. And if you can't get it and you're on some platform, let us know. We'll try to get it on there. But yeah, man, Craft Man, same thing, man. We getting right to work. What's going on, man?
The same old thing. Second episode of the QBs. I got to ask you though, what position are you most looking forward to scouting and doing episodes on?
I'm gonna say running backs because I didn't say this last episode, and I just said it to you right in between episodes. In my opinion, this class had a lot of hype, but it ain't up to the hype in certain places. Now, I think at running back, it's deep at running back. And I think in your rookie drafts, those second-round running back picks, I mean, there's multiple leagues where I'm trying to snipe on these second-round running backs. I know the other guys are getting the hype. Wide receiver, though, I think maybe last year's it's not even close, honestly. I think last year's wide receiving class was way better than this. And then quarterbacks this year, what we're talking about now, quarterbacks is way better this year than last year. Yep.
Yeah, I think
last year was just Kenny Pickett and Malik Willis. This year we got Bryce Young and CJ Stroud. Next year we got motherfucking Caleb Williams and all them dudes that people are gonna be tanking for and stuff.
Dustin May and
Drake May,
Dustin May. It might be Drake. It probably is Drake May.
That quarterback from North Carolina.
Oh, yeah. That motherfucker right there that I fucked up.
Heck, we might have to drop a 24 episode for these people. I know I did it last year. I had old Jordan Phillips on. We talked about these guys. I saw them notes the other day. We was kind of on about some of them. But except for, I wish I could, when I see him at work tonight, I'm going to be like, yo, man, you remember when you were so high on Keyshawn Butte? Like, what the hell happened with that?
29-inch vert on that man. Matt, we jumped higher than that. How's it feel? How does it feel?
What happened to that guy, man? I don't even know what to say about that dude. We'll just have to break him down later on, man. I mean, what the hell? Dude got fat, I guess.
They were talking about him like he was like the next Jamar Chase when he first come in, and
right, man, that hype was real.
Oh, from grace.
But fuck it, man. We talking C.J. Stroud, we talking Will Levis, and then we going to a lesser extent we're gonna talk Tanner McKee, Stetson Bennett. What's the other guy's name? I'm gonna bring up their names. Max Duggan, and who are these other guys? Oh, Dorian Thompson-Robinson out of UCLA. We'll just kind of mention him. I ain't gonna sit there and act like I broke those guys. That people are gonna be drafting in the 4th round of Superflex drafts. Maybe. I ain't gonna sit there and say I watched film on them all day. The main guys these people want to know is C.J. Stroud and Will Levis. So C.J. Stroud, 6'3", 214 pounds, Ohio State. I said it to you right before we was recording. I said, I don't really even have much to say about C.J. Stroud. This dude's just fucking great. Has good arm strength, deep ball accuracy, played big in big time moments. Versus the Dogs, I think in the Rose Bowl, whatever year that was. I can't even remember who they played, but he had a hell of a game. Extends plays and get through. I mean, this dude is good, and he's got the size. Debatable to be my number one, even in NFL. Like, I think it's debatable. Like, I'm a Bryce Young guy. In fantasy, I think it's debatable too. I mean, to me, there's tier 1 is Bryce Young and CJ Stroud. CJ Stroud's just got the size, so I see why everybody likes him. To me, he was just, I watched, he's playing in the Big Ten for a couple years. He played big in these big games, but throughout the seasons, he definitely had moments where it was like, dude, this dude is a little overrated. Ohio State ain't that good. He's over here with all these big time athletes. They're struggling with Northwestern. Got ESPN calling a little drizzle, a hurricane, and shit. So, you know,
Questionable in monsoon weather. That's what I got.
So, what you got to say about the guy? I know you like CJ Stroud.
Yeah, he's my favorite in this class. Yeah, I'm a Georgia fan, so I got to see what he did against us. But 2022, 41 touchdowns, 6 interceptions, 6'3", 218. Some of the stuff I got, doesn't miss any throws down the middle of the field, is incredibly accurate, is my favorite. I think he's the most accurate in this class. Some people will say Bryce Young is close, but he doesn't miss many throws. Going to be mainly a pocket passer. Won't have many design runs, and doesn't have like incredible speed and athleticism. He kind of reminds me of when he takes off, maybe like Joe Burrow speed and athleticism, something like that. Nothing crazy, but when he needs to run, he can and will do it in big moments. Don't play under center. That was another thing, just like Hendon Hooker, was always in gun. And I mean, I didn't have hardly anything negative to say about him except for he's not going to have the talent that he had at Ohio State, compared to defenses as he's going to have in the NFL. I mean, he's going to have to make some tight window throws. He's going to have to pull the trigger. I mean, because these guys are running wide open. I mean, you got I'm just name them off. Marvin Harrison, Njigba, Garrett Wilson, Chris Olave, and some other guy. I was watching the film. I forget his name, but he was the number one receiver in his class coming out of high school.
They're stacked. I mean, dang, Marvin Harrison Jr. might be like 101 in single quarterback rookie drafts next season.
Yeah,
he's definitely going to be up there. I mean, obviously things could change, but geez.
Good O-line too. He had all the time in the world to play the football, so I'm just anxious to see what it's going to look like at the next level when he has to make quicker decisions and receivers aren't just wide open all the time.
And I'm assuming he's going number 1 to the Panthers. That's how I feel. Superflex ADP right now, 17.1 going as the QB9. We're talking about ahead of Kyler Murray, Deshaun Watson. So a lot of people are high on CJ Stroud. I like him too. I wouldn't take him this high. Of course, you know how it is with rookies. Like, I feel like me and you are probably a little bit tougher than other people. There's probably people taking CJ Stroud up there with Trevor Lawrence and shit right now. So, I
mean, I think he's going to be great. I got the 102 in a rookie draft, and that's who I'm picking.
Yeah, probably going to be in a better
unless
spot.
Something happens in the draft.
Carolina's a better spot than Houston, would you say?
Yeah. They didn't bring in like big name receivers, but they got they brought in Thielen, they brought in DJ Chark, Hayden Hurst, so it's better than Nico Collins, losing Brandon Cooks, John Mechie, who I don't know if he'll be back, but and Panthers got a good O-line, they can run the ball very well, so
yeah.
He's going to play under center in Carolina. A decent bit.
Man, CJ Stroud really almost boring to talk about. I mean, the dude is pretty much you can't complain about his size. I mean, can't complain about his production. There's nothing you can complain about. He's just higher. So you would agree he's got a higher ceiling than Bryce Young? I think I might lean Bryce Young today, but
yeah, I just think Stroud's going to be great. I don't really have any. I'm probably the highest on him you're going to find. The only thing that concerns me, he said his role models are Deshaun Watson and Michael Vick. My only concern is you got a lot of quarterbacks to choose from, and you want to choose the guy who fought dogs and the other one, allegedly.
Oh, Bill Cosby out there. the NFL's Bill Cosby.
It might be the money though. He might just be like, I want to be like Deshaun Watson and get $230 million guaranteed. So he might look up to that.
Heck, who isn't looking up to that? I'm looking up to that. Shit. All right, then. Well, shoot.
Yep.
You want to head on to Will Levis? You got anything to say about your favorite QB?
No, I'm good.
Will Levis, 6'4", 229 out of Kentucky. I think all I did at the combine was like a vertical jump, 34, to broad jump, 10.4. This is like my least favorite quarterback of all we're gonna talk about. He's ass. This dude is ass, Kraft, and I ain't even gonna sit here and act like with at least with Anthony Richardson, we're getting some unreal athleticism. This right here, this is my comp for Will Levis. Since people want the comps out here, here's a comp for y'all. This
Josh
dude is
Allen.
Taysom Hill. Taysom Hill, man. I don't see no Josh Allen or nothing.
Nah,
I ain't into this. This is a Taysom Hill that's going in the top 10. My opinion is he ain't going in the top 10. I think they're going to be wrong on this. If there's any player that's dropping in the draft of these quarterbacks, this is the guy right here.
I think Zach Wilson.
You know,
A little bit.
a little bit of Zach Wilson in you.
A little bit of Zach Wilson. Yeah, he got a stronger. He's got a beautiful throw motion. That's one thing that I did like about him. He's got a very quick release and has a great arm. You know, probably the strongest arm out of all these guys, him and Richardson. But, you know, what I got on him has no feel in the pocket whatsoever.
None.
Yeah, doesn't maneuver at all to extend plays. He does have above average speed, and he's a big dude. He can move a pile. He can run that little Josh Allen type power if he gets in the right scheme. But I just don't. Kentucky wasn't very good, but he missed. His accuracy's not great. He does this weird ass sidearm. Like he'll be in the pocket, nobody around, and throw it sidearm and sell it 10 yards over his receiver, run down the middle of the field and get picked by the safety behind him. I mean, it's just, I don't know. He's got a lot of work to do, but I like his athleticism and his arm strength. That's about the only only good things I can say. Really, I would take Richardson just because he's just more athletic. They both have similar traits as far as their arms go, but you know,
I mean, that was the first thing I wrote down. Lack of pocket awareness. It's almost laughable.
Yeah.
How bad it is.
He's so big, but he gets hit so fucking hard because it's like he's oblivious to the person right next to the 300-pounder about to just bury his ass. So that was the worst quarterback in this draft of pocket awareness that I've seen.
I just be cracking up thinking about I was on flipping through Twitter. I don't know who tweeted this, but it was like a sarcastic tweet, and he was like, "How great do you think Will Levis is when you watch this play?" And I watched that play, man. It was so bad. I mean, like, no pocket awareness. He's chunking the ball at people's feet. It's like 10 people. I mean,
that's why it reminds me of Zach Wilson, because they'd have zero pocket awareness, either one of them. And they just, 19 touchdowns, 10 interceptions. He will turn the ball over. It will happen. And he's going to turn the ball over a lot in the NFL if he gets a starting job. That's one thing I do believe will happen.
Yep, same. I got poor decision making. For his strengths, though, I wrote down NFL prototype, played in a pro-style passing scheme, and he's willing to run the ball. And to be fair, I mean, he is my least favorite one out of all these guys, but to be fair, could have been playing hurt. A lot of people saying that the NFL community might be being a little too hard on Will Levis right now. Maybe he shouldn't have played, and maybe that's true. I can't say it's not. It probably is true. I mean, you're out there playing with Kentucky. Another thing I want to point out, though, is he transferred from Penn State. The dude couldn't even beat out those quarterbacks at Penn State. We're talking Sean Clifford. Guys that ain't touching the NFL field ever. But I mean, Trace McSorley just got on the field, a little third string. He played for the Cardinals, so that's basically what Sean Clifford is. It's just something like that, even to a lesser extent. And Will Levis could not beat that guy out. So he transfers to Kentucky, and here I got his numbers right here. I don't know if you said them, but 24 touchdowns. This is 2021. 24 touchdowns, 13 interceptions, 2,800 yards, QBR of 148. He rushed for 391 yards, had 9 rushing touchdowns. So I could see,
Yeah.
it's
That's his
2022.
rushing ability is like around the goal line,
Yeah,
I feel like. It's not
right.
gonna be it's like, yeah.
He's Taysom Hill.
he
He's like the
has a strong
overhyped
arm.
Taysom Hill. Right? In 2022, he had 19 touchdowns, 10 interceptions, 2,400 yards, QBR 151, so it went up a little bit. Not exactly running the score up, running the stat sheet
No.
up.
I
Can't
think pocket
stand him.
awareness is like one of the most important. It might be the most important thing we said evaluating any of these guys is how they perform in the pocket, and it's bad
I think
when you watch Will Levis play.
I don't know, man. I just don't know what people think. This is like my gripe with the whole world, I guess, the whole media and everybody. This is like my biggest gripe. It's like, this is how you get what's his face? This is the type of all this stuff right here is why you get Mitch Trubisky drafted ahead of Deshaun Watson and stuff like that, because of this crap right here. Like, I want to look at his height and his weight. I just want to
Yeah.
see how good he runs in some tights instead of looking at the production, because this motherfucker Will Levis did nothing in college. This dude did nothing in college. I
You say
mean,
2,400 passing yards. That's nothing really.
nothing.
Nothing.
And we're talking about a possible top 10 guy. Fucking Mel Kiper loves this guy. I'm like, what are we talking about here, man? This is insane. But who? I mean, what's his ceiling, Kraft? Like, what is what do they think this guy could be?
I would say. I mean, this is like 1.001% ceiling is like Stafford. I mean, and like I said, that's a very small percentage, but that's the body type I kind of give him and the arm strength that I can compare it to. It's just Stafford. And Stafford, when he first came in the league, he had athleticism too, and he could run a little power, but it's not going to be Stafford. I wouldn't even throw that out there, and I don't even want. I'll retract it. I don't want people to think of him as
Right.
Matthew Stafford.
Will Levis in Superflex ADP is going as quarterback 17. ADP is 56, so he's going as a 17th quarterback. So going ahead of Daniel Jones, Kirk Cousins, Kenny Pickett, Russell Wilson, Jared Goff.
I just want to go back and think of what NFL quarterback who is great now had 2,400 passing yards or just wasn't good in college. Like the production wasn't there. I think production got to be the number one thing you talk about. I mean, all the great quarterbacks in the NFL had a great college career. I feel like I can't really think of anybody. Yeah. I mean, Mahomes he didn't have the best college career, but
right. I mean, I don't know. I don't get it, but hey, that's enough for my Will Levis hate. But where do you stand with Will Levis, though? Real quick before we move on, where would you? Well, maybe, you know what? Let's just save it, man. I ain't even gonna say rank him yet. Let's move on to Tanner McKee.
Ass. This is the worst quarterback.
This is when we start to get into the weeds right here.
We're officially.
We ain't got to talk too much about Tanner McKee real quick, but this is one thing that my main note. He just looks kind of goofy out there to me. That he's just goofy as fuck. I mean, 6'6", 231, Stanford. So he's probably got it between the ears and all that. Allegedly, I ain't sitting here condoning Stanford. I don't think y'all are all that smart.
You telling me he's Andrew Luck? Is that what you're saying? 6'6", 230, went to Stanford.
His production score was 13th among quarterbacks. His athleticism score was 14th among quarterbacks.
Yeah,
this dude, he's just tall. He's just tall, man. That's all I can say.
His arm's not that. Yeah, his arm's not great either. In my opinion, it wasn't great.
No,
not no Justin Herbert out there. For somebody his size, Justin Herbert got a much stronger arm than he got. He only threw 13 touchdowns and 8 interceptions. 62% completion percentage. Like we said, he's 6'6", but this dude was just getting pocket awareness was awful. It looked like he was just a statue, like you said. He can't move, and he just gets. I think he took 5 sacks against Washington in the first quarter, 4 or 5 sacks, and I just don't see no rushing upside whatsoever.
None.
One good thing, I put above average accuracy when rolling right.
Yeah.
And his accuracy is all right when it says accurate when everything is on schedule and he can set his feet.
When guys were talking about like this, Tanner McKee is guys like when you're in your 4th round of your rookie drafts and you just taking shots, you just taking stabs, and
but this ain't one to take a stab at though, because he has no rushing upside he has no upside, in my opinion.
He's basically just on the NFL list, I guess. He must be the next one on because I see him in ADP. He's going as the quarterback 37. Like he's the next one. So Tanner McKee, I don't really have much to say. If he's just a stab, maybe. Kraft says don't even take a stab at him. I'm with him. In fact, if you're gonna take a stab on somebody, it'll be at least the next guy, old Stetson Bennett from the Dogs, and 2-time national championship winner. 40-yard, he ran a 4.6. I mean, I saw Stetson Bennett play. I think he kind of moves pretty good. I think he moves pretty good. The one thing I like about Stetson Bennett is this dude makes throws. The reason why I like Hendon Hooker, like this dude Stetson Bennett makes throws. He had a great O-line and all that stuff. One thing that I would like to say is, you're damn near 30. Of course, you're out there balling on 17-year-old kids out there. Let's see how you do against guys your own age.
You didn't say that about Hendon Hooker last episode.
Man, Stetson Bennett's older than that. He's like, what? He's going to be 28.
I think. He ain't going to be 28, is he?
Damn near 30-year-old rookie over here, man. He was in college 14 years, Kraft. Nah, but listen, I'm not a Stetson Bennett hater. Production score was 7th. Athletic score was 13th. But I think he's kind of sneaky athletic, in my opinion.
Yeah, that's what I put. Sneaky athletic.
Moves out there, but I mean, he's like a walk-on guy, 5'11", 192. He's not going to get too much respect. I would say his ceiling, his absolute peak would be like a journeyman, Case Keenum type guy. Like maybe he'll have a decent year somewhere. Got to be a backup pretty much, but
like premier backup is his ceiling. I feel like. I mean, like you said, he's undersized. He's smaller than Bryce Young, who they hate, and Bryce Young had all the production. Most people think, watching Georgia, they label him as a game manager, but in a lot of games he was. But in the games that we needed him, like you said, he can make throws. He got probably one of the better deep balls of the guys out of all these guys, but didn't throw outside the numbers much. A lot of Brock Bowers and a lot of post route stuff over the middle of the field. A lot of quick reads with that Georgia offense. They had a great offensive line, and that's what scares me of him just not being anything in the NFL is you're not going to have 8 seconds to throw the ball in the NFL.
Right.
I mean, Georgia's offensive line, he was just standing back there. Sometimes you could go make a sandwich, come back. He's still in the backfield making reads, man.
Throwing to these top-notch tight ends.
Yep.
Heck, Brock Bowers, another 24 guy, like gonna be up there. Like
might be like top 5 next year. Superflex tight end premium
24 class looking stout. But yeah, Stetson Bennett, not really too much to say. Other than we watched him play a lot down here in Georgia, so I like him a fair bit, undersized and all that stuff, but he's a reach. It's probably not happening. That's all I'm gonna say. But another guy's like Max Duggan, coming out, played at TCU, took his team to the national championship. I'll give him credit. He took TCU to the national championship. I mean, that ain't normal. You know what I'm saying? It ain't exactly going to the national championship, so I'll give him credit. He's a winner. Ran the balls, taking hits, stuff like that. I mean, to me, his ceiling's lower than Stetson Bennett. So, I mean, he's not an NFL
Yeah.
quarterback. So,
He's like a poor man's Will Levis, and we don't like Will Levis, so
yeah. So,
yeah,
not
I
too much.
just don't. Nah, I ain't got much for him. He's a competitor. That's only.
Yep.
He's a hell of a competitor, and like you said, he took TCU to Natty, which
Right.
most people
So,
will forget they were even there.
right. So we give him credit, and then next, the last guy I want to touch on because have seen this guy a little bit higher than some of these guys like Stetson Bennett and all that, but I don't want to get his name wrong real quick. Dorian Thompson-Robinson, quarterback out of UCLA, mobile guy, dual threat, played in Chip Kelly's offense out there. I can't sit here and act like I watched a lot of him, but I know of him. I'd probably take him over guys like Duggan. I've just seen it. I've just seen his name pop up a little bit closer. Nobody I would take note of, but at least there's a rushing upside with this guy.
Yeah, and that in them late rounds, that's kind of the picks. If you're gonna just throw shit at the wall and hope something sticks, that's the kind of guys you want to draft. Not really Tanner McKee.
Exactly.
His 6'6" ass.
So, what you think, Craft Man? We're gonna wrap it on up. That's our
We'll wrap it.
quarterback
Yep.
breakdowns.
Yep. I had one thing I wanted to say about Tanner McKee. In the 2018 high school class, he was only behind Trevor Lawrence and JT Daniels as number 3 ranked in the nation for pro style offense. But I mean, JT Daniels ain't anything. I just thought that was kind of interesting. After watching him play, I thought it was interesting.
It is interesting how
But
that.
I mean, that's it though. It's just interesting.
What you call it?
Doesn't mean anything.
I think Davis Mills was recruited real high like that too, something like that. Weird how Stanford be snagging these guys, and then heck, they go to the NFL. They run that NFL offense.
You could be worse than Davis Mills. That's probably his comp too.
Probably.
Yeah.
So, all right then. Well, shoot, man. That's our quarterback breakdowns. Broke them down the best we could. Like we said, we ain't the experts, but we just keep it real. We just tell you how we see it. So, anything else to say, Craft Man?
Nope. What we got coming up next? RBs.
Yep, we'll start knocking down some of these running backs. So, they next. But all right, then let's get on out of here, man. We out.
Peace.